At home, one of our favourite games is this. We got it from Flying Tiger up the road in North Finchley, although other tigers are available. It's called Storyteller Dice, and it works like this. You open the box and you tip out the dice. And the dice have pictures of things on. There's a football, there's a cup of tea, there's a banana. And you take your pictures and you arrange them into a sequence until it makes a story. And then you tell the story. And it works, it's fun. And the reason it's fun is because we people, we see stories in everything, don't we? Stories matter. We see stories in everything. Stories help us to understand the world and make sense of our lives. This autumn at Christchurch, we're looking through something called The Story of Everything. And I've called it that because, well, it's tracing through the story of this great book, the Bible, and finding out that it has one coherent story from beginning to end, made up of so many different books, so many different authors, but telling one big story from beginning to end. I've called it the story of everything because, well, the Bible doesn't tell us everything we need to know, but everything takes its place within this story. This story is so big that everything finds their place within it, including us. And so what I'd like you to do, that's the reason for making the video, is to commit to taking part in this, tracing through this story with us at Christchurch each Sunday, starting this week, the 8th of September, all the way through. Why? Why is that an important thing to do? Well, two reasons why I think that will really help. One is because, well, I think for some people, the Bible itself is a bit like this. It's a jumble of different things. We know there's different things in there. We know that there's Adam and Eve and creation in there somewhere. We know that there's laws, there's things we ought to do. We know Jesus is in there and Moses is in there. We know that there's poetry. We know that there's prophecy, but we don't really know how they all fit together. And so when we dip into the Bible, when we open the Bible and look at it and we say, well, what does this have to say to me? Well, we don't really know where we are. We're paddling around. We don't really know which bit it is that we're dealing with. And we don't know how it relates to the other bits. And so when we come to the complicated bits of the Bible, well, we feel lost because we don't know how to fit them into the picture as a whole. So, making sense of the Bible, finding that this Bible as a whole speaks of one God from beginning to end. And as we dig through this story of the Bible as a whole, we discover who it is, the main character. So we understand the Bible, we understand God, we understand Jesus, we understand why he matters. We also understand the world better as we do this, because for some people as well, the world is like this. The story of the world is similarly confusing. We don't know where we are, we don't know where we're going, we don't know what the future holds. At the moment, this country is enormously confused and in controversy over Brexit, and one of the reasons for that is because of the different stories that are being told. You know, what is the future? Is the nation in a story where it's about to go over a cliff? Or is it about to resurge and become a great world country, a great world nation? Is that what's going to happen? Are either of those things going to happen? We don't know. And so we're confused about it. Well, the story of everything, the story of the Bible, helps us to make sense of the big things of the world by putting them in their biggest context and seeing what matters. It also helps us to make sense of the small things of my life. What should I be doing? What should be my priorities going into this autumn? What should I be focusing on? What does my future hold? Should I be looking at it with fear? Should I be looking at it with hope and with a smile? What should I do? Well, the story of the Bible points us to the big story of everything. It has God as a central theme all the way through, the Lord Jesus as the main character. Understanding this story will help us to fit our lives and the lives of our nation, the lives of the world, into the biggest possible context. So please commit. Please be part of it. You'll know that, as anybody who's fallen asleep in a film knows, you can get the gist of a story if you miss bits of it, but you miss out, don't you, if you miss a chunk. And so I'm asking you to commit to coming on Sundays through this time. Trace this story through. I'm also asking you to commit by thinking about being part of one of our small groups, our house groups. We're going to be tracing through the same story using a course called God's Big Picture by Vaughan Roberts. It's a really helpful course with videos and discussions. We'll be doing those in small groups during the week. It allows you to ask your questions, to really dig in, to take in and think through a bit more what this story of the Bible is all about. So commit to those things. Sundays starting the 8th of September and midweek groups. And I hope that as you do that, you'll find that the Bible makes sense of the world.